all of a sudden, on the 10th of May, the Blitzkrieg started, and people don't seem to realize that the whole thing was over in a matter of 3.5 weeks. And it was only in the very last few days, perhaps the last week or so, that we realized that the end was nigh. I recall one particularly lovely occasion. We were at an old chateau near Dixmude in Belgium, and I was on night duty, and there was a lovely moon shining, and the nightingales were singing. Now, I'd never heard nightingales before, and I was quite enchanted. And then we went straight back down to the coast, and this was to the east of La Panne, which was our final place where we stopped. And I remember spending a miserable night wading up to our chests in the icy cold water and carrying stretchers shoulder high and loading them onto boats which took them to ships waiting offshore. And then eventually, of course, we closed in onto La Panne, which at that time was the army headquarters. We set up our hospital in the casino, which was right on the seafront, but we were under quite heavy shell fire. This would have been on Friday, the 31st of May, and they said, well, we are moving off, we are leaving this now, but we need some volunteers to stay behind. And so we all formed up, the unit was formed up at 130 men, and the order was given, volunteers, one pace, step forward, march. And a lot of us volunteered, and the next order was, volunteers stand fast, remainder dismiss. Now, we were still in great heart then, so many people volunteered, and so the command was repeated a second time, and still too many volunteered. And then there's a third command given, and at the end only 5 of us had volunteered. And the rest of the unit went off and left us there doing the best we could. We were joined at this place by 20 men from other medical units, so there were 25 of us, and we spent the time going around the beach, picking up the wounded and bring them in, and giving them what treatment we could. That went on for the whole day, and then the night came. There was an inky black night, and we had no lights to see what we were doing, so we had to work by the light of shell fire. And all the time and time again, great big chunks of shrapnel caused spurts of sand to shoot up all around us. And why we weren't hit, I just don't know. It was Dunkirk has been called the miracle of Dunkirk. And this was, I think, really part of the miracle. Now, the following morning, it must have been about 3 o'clock in the morning, we had been using the casino as a mortuary. And so the major in charge, Major Lovebond, who was a very fine man, he read the burial service over these bodies in the ground floor of the casino. And he came to a very wonderful passage, not often read at funeral services. It was, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Now you can imagine the impact of those words on a deeply religious 19-year-old lad. And that scene has lived with me down the years now 68 years ago. And the major then called us all together and said, well, The Germans are just down the road. All our troops have left. There's no need for all of us to stand here, to stay here. So what I'm going to do, I'll put 25 pieces of paper in my hat. 8 of them will have a number on them. If you pick a number, you will stay and be taken prisoner. But if you draw a blank, you'll have a chance to get away. And this simple act was one of the most important things I've ever done in my whole life. Because if I hadn't picked a blank, I wouldn't be here today. I'd have been a prisoner. I'd never gone out to India. I'd never seen Pamela. I met her. And so that was that.